Henry McAllister stood at the forefront of the Global Alliance Command Center, the room alive with the hum of sophisticated technology. The message from the Galactic Council displayed on the main screen, stark and unyielding. "Stand down, humanity!" The words carried an ominous weight, reverberating through the silence that followed. "How many ships?" Henry asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "Dozens," replied Admiral Samantha Drake, her expression resolute. "Their fleet is positioned just outside our defensive perimeter." Henry turned his gaze to the holographic display of Earth's defenses. Years of preparation and technological advancement had led to this moment. He could feel the eyes of his colleagues on him, waiting for his command. His daughter, Lily, a brilliant scientist, stood nearby, her eyes reflecting a mix of hope and apprehension. "We need to understand their intentions," Henry said, addressing the assembled leaders. "This isn't just about our survival. It's about our right to explore and thrive." Dr. Hiro Tanaka, a renowned scientist whose innovations had bolstered Earth's defenses, nodded. "We've made significant strides, but we need more time to complete the planetary shield. Any delay could compromise our safety." Henry clenched his fists. The Galactic Council's ultimatum was a direct threat to humanity's progress. "Prepare a response," he ordered. "We'll show them that Earth is not a passive bystander in galactic affairs." As preparations commenced, Henry walked over to Lily. "How are you holding up?" he asked softly. Lily smiled, though the concern in her eyes was evident. "I believe in what we're doing, Dad. But I also worry about the cost. We've come too far to back down now," Henry replied, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Our future depends on this." Hours later, as Earth's defense systems powered up, Henry stood before a communication console, ready to address the Galactic Council. The connection was established, and the faces of the Council's representatives materialized, stern and imposing. "Council members," Henry began, his voice firm. "Humanity has no intention of ceasing its expansion. We seek peace and cooperation, but we will defend our right to exist and explore." A tall, imposing figure spoke from the Council's side. "Your technological advancements and aggressive expansion threaten the balance of our galaxy. Cease immediately, or face consequences." Henry's eyes narrowed. "We have every right to advance and protect our interests. If you force our hand, we will respond with everything we have." The Council members exchanged glances, their expressions unreadable. "You have one Earth cycle to comply," the representative declared before the transmission ended abruptly. Henry turned to his team. "We have our answer. Prepare for their arrival. We must be ready for anything." Admiral Drake stepped forward. "Our defensive grid is nearly complete. We'll position our fleets strategically to counter any immediate threats." Dr. Tanaka added, "We've also developed a new prototype weapon that could give us an edge. It's risky, but it might be our best shot." Henry nodded, appreciating their dedication. "Proceed with caution. Every decision we make now will determine our survival." As the team dispersed to carry out their tasks, Henry took a moment to gather his thoughts. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on him. The Galactic Council's ultimatum was a stark reminder of the challenges humanity faced, but it also reinforced his resolve. That night, as the first of the Council's ships breached Earth's atmosphere, Henry stood at the command center's observation deck. The sky lit up with the glow of defensive barriers activating, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. The initial skirmishes tested Earth's defenses, with Admiral Drake coordinating maneuvers and Dr. Tanaka's innovations holding firm. The battle was intense, each moment a test of strategy and will. Henry watched as Earth's forces responded with precision, their resolve unwavering. Amidst the chaos, a message from an unexpected source came through, a rogue faction within the Council, led by an alien named Kale, offering secret assistance. Henry's heart raced as he read the message. This could change everything. He summoned his team, sharing the news and devising a plan to leverage this unexpected turn of events. The stakes had never been higher, but with new allies and renewed determination, there was hope. The first light of dawn painted the sky as Henry McAllister surveyed the preparations. Earth's defensive grid buzzed with energy, an intricate web of shields and weapons ready to repel the Galactic Council's impending assault. Admiral Samantha Drake, with her calm demeanor and tactical acumen, directed the final deployments. "All units are in position," Admiral Drake reported. "We're ready for whatever they throw at us." Henry nodded, appreciating her confidence. "Let's hope it's enough." Dr. Hiro Tanaka, his eyes glinting with the intensity of a man who had poured his life into his work, approached them. "The new prototype is operational. It could provide the edge we need." "Good work, Hiro," Henry said. "We'll need every advantage." As they spoke, a transmission from the Council's fleet came through. The holographic image of the Council's representative, imposing and stern, filled the room. "Earth, this is your final warning. Cease all military actions and surrender." Henry stepped forward, his expression resolute. "We will not surrender. We seek peace, but we will defend our home." The representative's eyes narrowed. "You have made your choice." The transmission cut off abruptly, and the first wave of the Council's ships began their descent through the atmosphere. Earth's defenses activated, a coordinated symphony of technology and strategy. The initial skirmishes were intense, with Admiral Drake's fleet engaging the enemy with precision. Earth's defensive systems, bolstered by Dr. Tanaka's innovations, held strong against the onslaught. Laser beams and plasma blasts crisscrossed the sky, creating a dazzling yet deadly display. Henry watched from the command center, his heart pounding. Every decision now carried immense weight. He turned to Lily, who had been monitoring the battle from a scientific perspective. "What's the status of the planetary shield?" Lily's fingers flew across the control panel. "Holding steady, but we're nearing capacity. We need to find a way to push them back." An alert sounded, drawing their attention to a new development. A section of the Council's fleet was breaking away, aiming for a vulnerable point in Earth's defenses. Admiral Drake quickly issued orders to intercept, but the situation was precarious. "We can't let them breach the shield," Henry said, urgency lacing his voice. "I have an idea," Dr. Tanaka interjected. "It's risky, but if we deploy the prototype weapon now, we might catch them off guard." Henry considered the proposal, weighing the risks. "Do it. We have no other choice." Dr. Tanaka rushed to implement the plan, coordinating with the tactical teams. Moments later, a pulse of energy surged through Earth's defenses, emanating from the prototype weapon. The Council's ships faltered, caught off guard by the sudden counterattack. The tide of battle shifted. Earth's forces pressed their advantage, pushing the Council's fleet back. The prototype weapon continued to disrupt the enemy's formations, buying precious time. Henry allowed himself a moment of hope. "We might just pull this off." As the battle raged on, a new transmission came through, this time from the rogue faction within the Council. Kale's face appeared, urgency etched in his features. "Henry, we're coordinating a strike from within. If you can hold out a little longer, we can help turn the tide." "Understood," Henry replied. "We'll hold the line." With renewed determination, Earth's forces continued their defense. The coordinated efforts of Admiral Drake, Dr. Tanaka, and the rogue faction began to show results. The Council's fleet was gradually pushed back, their advantage slipping away. In the midst of the battle, Henry received an unexpected message from Lily. "Dad, I've detected an energy signature. It's a weak point in their formation. If we focus our efforts there, we might be able to force a retreat." Henry relayed the information to Admiral Drake, who immediately adjusted their strategy. The focused assault on the weak point created a ripple effect, disrupting the Council's coordination. Realizing their position was compromised, the Council's fleet began to withdraw. The battle was not won, but the immediate threat had been averted. Earth had withstood the first wave. As the sky cleared, Henry took a deep breath, relief washing over him. They had survived, but the war was far from over. The message from Kale hinted at deeper complexities within the Council, and Earth's leaders would need to stay vigilant. Henry looked at Lily, pride and gratitude in his eyes. We did it. Lily smiled, though the weight of the situation was still evident. This is just one battle. We have to be ready for what comes next. Henry McAllister stood in the heart of the command center, surrounded by a flurry of activity. The initial assault had been repelled, but the looming threat of the Galactic Council's return weighed heavily on everyone's minds. Admiral Drake was at the helm, orchestrating the defensive maneuvers with precision. "We've bought ourselves some time," she said, her tone both relieved and determined. "But we need to prepare for the next wave." Dr. Hiro Tanaka, the brilliant scientist whose innovations had proved vital, approached with urgency. "I've been analyzing the data from the prototype weapon. We can enhance its output, but it will require significant energy resources." Henry nodded. "Do whatever it takes, Hiro. We need every advantage we can get." As preparations continued, Henry received a message from Kale, the rogue faction leader within the Galactic Council. The transmission was brief but filled with crucial information about a hidden weakness in the Council's fleet. Kale's intelligence could be the key to turning the tide. Henry convened an emergency meeting with his core team, including Admiral Drake, Dr. Tanaka, and his daughter Lily. They reviewed the data Kale had provided, outlining a plan to exploit the weakness. "This could work," Admiral Drake said, tapping the screen where Kale's intelligence was displayed. "But it's risky. We'll need to time our attack perfectly." "We don't have much choice," Henry replied. "It's a gamble, but one worth taking." Lily, who had been quietly absorbing the information, spoke up. "We should coordinate with our allies. If Kale can cause disruption from within the Council's ranks, it will give us the opening we need." Henry agreed. "Reach out to our contacts. Let's make sure everyone is ready." As the team dispersed to their tasks, Henry took a moment to reflect on the situation. The stakes were incredibly high, and the future of humanity rested on their actions. He felt a mix of determination and anxiety, knowing that every decision could mean life or death for millions. The hours passed quickly as preparations intensified. The command center was a hive of activity, with every screen displaying vital information. Admiral Drake's strategic brilliance and Dr. Tanaka's scientific prowess were on full display, each contributing to the plan's meticulous execution. Henry checked in with Kale, ensuring their rogue ally was ready to act. Kale's voice crackled over the comms, filled with resolve. "We're in position. As soon as you make your move, we'll create the diversion." The time had come. Earth's fleet moved into formation, ready to execute the plan. The Council's ships were detected on the edge of the solar system, moving in with intimidating force. Henry's heart pounded as he took his place at the command console, every nerve on edge. "All units, prepare for engagement," Admiral Drake commanded. The screens lit up with confirmation as Earth's forces braced for the imminent clash. The first salvo from the Council's fleet hit with brutal force, but Earth's defenses held firm. Admiral Drake directed counterattacks with expert precision, targeting the weak points identified by Kale. Dr. Tanaka's enhanced prototype weapon unleashed a powerful blast, catching the Council's ships off guard. In the chaos of battle, Kale's forces struck from within, creating disarray among the Council's ranks. Henry watched as the coordinated effort began to unfold, the tides slowly turning in their favor. A critical moment arrived when the Council's flagship, a colossal vessel that served as the command hub, was exposed. Henry seized the opportunity. "Focus all fire on the flagship. Now!" The combined firepower of Earth's fleet and Kale's internal strike overwhelmed the flagship's defenses. Explosions rippled through the enemy vessel, and moments later, it erupted in a spectacular display of destruction. With their command structure crippled, the remaining Council ships began to retreat. Cheers erupted throughout the command center as the realization of their victory set in. Henry allowed himself a rare moment of relief. "We did it," he said, his voice filled with a mix of exhaustion and triumph. Admiral Drake nodded, a satisfied smile on her face. "For now, but we need to remain vigilant." Henry turned to Lily, who had been monitoring the battle's progress. "Your idea to coordinate with our allies was crucial. We couldn't have done this without you." Lily beamed with pride. We're all in this together. Now, let's make sure we're ready for whatever comes next. As the team regrouped to assess their next steps, Henry felt a renewed sense of purpose. The battle had been won, but the war was far from over. The Council's threat still loomed, and humanity's resolve would be tested again. The aftermath of the battle left the command center buzzing with activity. Henry McAllister stood amidst the controlled chaos, issuing orders and coordinating the next steps with Admiral Drake and Dr. Hiro Tanaka. They had repelled the initial assault, but everyone knew this was only a temporary respite. Admiral Drake approached Henry, her expression both resolute and concerned. "We've received reports of Council reinforcements assembling. We need to prepare for another, larger offensive." Henry nodded. "What's our status on repairs and resupply?" Dr. Tanaka interjected. "We've managed to repair most of the critical systems, and the prototype weapon is being recalibrated for maximum efficiency. However, we're running low on key resources." Henry considered this information, weighing their options. "We need to secure additional resources. Contact our allies and see what they can spare. We can't afford to be unprepared." Meanwhile, Lily was deep in conversation with Kale, the rogue faction leader within the Council. His face, projected on a nearby screen, conveyed urgency. "We've uncovered information about a key facility the Council relies on for their war efforts. If we can take it out, it would significantly weaken their capability to launch further attacks." Lily's eyes lit up with the possibilities. "Do you have the coordinates?" Kale nodded. "I'll transmit the details. This is our best chance to shift the balance." Lily turned to Henry. "We need to act on this. Taking out that facility could buy us the time we need." Henry agreed. "Prepare a strike team. We'll need our best people on this mission." As plans for the strike were set in motion, Henry gathered his core team for a briefing. Admiral Drake laid out the tactical approach, while Dr. Tanaka provided insights on how to maximize the impact of their assault. The room was filled with a sense of urgency and determination. The strike team, led by a seasoned officer named Captain Reynolds, departed under the cover of night. Their mission was to infiltrate the Council's facility and disable its operations. The journey was fraught with danger, but they pressed on, driven by the knowledge that success here could turn the tide in their favor. Back at the command center, Henry monitored the mission's progress, his heart heavy with anticipation. The team's success was crucial, and he couldn't shake the sense of responsibility weighing on him. Lily stayed by his side, providing support and sharing her insights. The strike team reached the facility and commenced their operation. They moved with precision and efficiency, navigating the complex's defenses and planting explosives at key points. Just as they were about to complete their mission, they encountered fierce resistance. A firefight erupted, testing the team's resolve and skill. Captain Reynolds' voice crackled over the comms. "We've hit heavy resistance. Requesting immediate extraction." Admiral Drake sprang into action, coordinating the extraction effort. "Hold your position. We're sending in backup." The minutes felt like hours as the command center waited for news. Finally, Captain Reynolds reported. "Mission accomplished. Facility is down." A collective sigh of relief swept through the room. The strike team had succeeded, but not without cost. Several members had been injured, and the extraction had been perilous. Yet their sacrifice had dealt a significant blow to the Council's war machine. Henry addressed the command center. "We've bought ourselves some time. Now we need to use it wisely. Double our efforts on all fronts. This is our chance to secure a lasting peace." As Earth's forces regrouped and reinforced their positions, the mood in the command center shifted from relief to resolve. They had faced down a formidable threat and emerged stronger, more united. Henry took a moment to speak with Lily privately. "I couldn't have done this without you," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. Lily smiled, though her eyes betrayed the exhaustion of the past days. "We're in this together, Dad. And we'll keep fighting for our future." Their conversation was interrupted by a new transmission from Kale. "The Council is in disarray. Your strike has caused significant disruption. We have an opportunity to negotiate from a position of strength." Henry considered the implications. Set up a secure channel. We'll make our move. The command center buzzed with the preparation for the negotiations. Henry knew that this was their chance to secure a lasting peace, but it would require careful diplomacy and unwavering resolve. He gathered his team, preparing for the discussions that could shape the future of humanity. As the negotiations began, Henry stood firm, presenting Earth's terms with clarity and conviction. The Council representatives, weakened by their losses and internal strife, were more amenable to discussions. The talks were tense, with both sides making concessions, but progress was made. After hours of deliberation, a tentative agreement was reached. The Council would recognize Earth's sovereignty and cease hostilities, while Earth would agree to certain terms to ensure mutual respect and cooperation. As the details were finalized, Henry felt a sense of accomplishment. They had navigated a path through war and diplomacy to secure a future for humanity. The journey had been arduous, but the destination was within sight. The command center erupted in cautious optimism as the news spread, signaling a new chapter for Earth and its place in the galaxy.